2020. Are you ready?
Well, after 5 exciting rounds of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship, we move to the finale here at Teeside. Join me, Chris Sora, for all of the afternoon's action, where we have already had some champions crowned, of course, at Wilton Mill. But here at Teeside, there are some very close championship races. Some of them could even go down to the very last lap of the race. Plenty of action in store here at Teeside. Join us here at Alpha Life for all of the action. Just a few moments. SYMoto Veterans race number 1 getting underway in just a few moments. We'll have a look at how they line up in just a moment. Here we go. So in terms of the grid, Phil Dickens starting on a 124.324, taking pole position from James Mostica. Julian Gromit in 3rd, Matthew Davis, Dean Bednarek and Dervin Elaine in 6th position. 7th is Steve Booth from Robin Kyle, Ian Walker 9th, Stan Gill, Gav Tappenden and Mark Jarrett rounding out the top 12. Mick Price in 13th, John Pearson 14th, and setting no time, Stephen Tempest, Darren Hall and Paul Histon, who will start at the back of the field. And this is certainly a great track to finish the 2020 season. We've had some fantastic venues, of course. Ella Park, a relatively new track in terms of mini bike racing. It's the first time we had bikes on that track for many years, so a real coup for the British Mini Bikes series. Went to Lyd, of course, second round of the championship. 2 visits to Wilton Mill up in Northamptonshire, split of course by the fast, spectacular Three Sisters Circuit. Another quick circuit here, of course, as the vets get away, and a good start there, I believe, for Phil Dickens. Got away well. Just a shout out in terms of the YouTube channel, he was asked if was this track called Lambor in the 80s. I believe so, as far as I'm aware, and it really is a multi-venue, multi-discipline venue, lots of different types of racing and motorsport taking place here. We just saw a little bit close there at the start between Matthew Davis and Phil Dickens, banging wheels. Both riders stay on the track. It looks like Dickens has held on to the lead. Davis 2nd, Mostica 3rd, and that's important for the championship here. We've got to look out as well for the 75 of Julian Gromit, who is the championship leader, only by 4 points, so really does need to get ahead of James Mostica, as we see a little bit further back there. That looks like Dervin Elaine, possibly Stan Gill battling there. Nice clean start then for the vets as they make their way through the bowl corner for the first time. And it looks like Dickens has held on to the lead here. Matthew Davis got very close on that opening half lap as they make their way back towards the finish line. James Mostica, who has been unbeaten for most of the season, 2nd in the championship, of course, after that no score at Ella Park, and 3rd will do him at the moment because he is ahead of his main rival, Julian Gromit. Mostica will be looking to get involved in that battle for the lead, though, as Phil Dickens leads from Davis. Davis having a look down the inside. Mostica 3rd. And Mostica pulling away from Gromit in 4th. That's important for him, as Davis again has a look down the inside of Dickens at the top of the circuit. Very quick here. In this section of the track, they crest the bank there. Back towards there will come now, down the back straight. There goes Gromit in 4th. Booth, Bednarek 6th. Walker, Tappenden 9th for Robin Kyle. Mark Jarrett rounding out the top 10 as we see a slipstream down the back straight for the lead. And Matthew Davis is your new race leader. Nice move down the back straight. Dickens still there in 2nd, trying to repass. Mostica 3rd. He'll be looking to get past these 2 riders and into the lead. Really, in terms of the title, he'd be looking to sandwich a few riders between him and Gromit, who's still there in 4th place. Gromit falling behind a little bit now in 4th. as Dickens guards that inside line, but Davis looking quick now and starts to pull away slightly. We'll check the lap charts in a few moments just to see what the gap is between first and second, but at the moment Matthew Davis looks quick at the start of the race. This could be interesting here, of course, because we've got changing conditions. It was very much a wet track earlier on. Qualifying was on a much more wet track, much more damp surface. So as the track dries out, this could really shuffle things up somewhat as we get riders who perhaps want to be a bit stronger on a dry track start to come to the fore maybe. We shall see. James Mostiger, incidentally, fastest lap of the race, 1:20.508 from Julian Gromit and Steve Booth in 5th place. Dean Bednarek, Ian Walker, Gav Tapperton, Robin Kyle and Dervin Lane running out the top 10. Mark Jarrett, Stan Gill, Mick Price and John Pearson running out the field as James Mostiger now, the 27, moves into second place. Starts to put the pressure now on Matthew Davis. 6 laps to go in this one, so still plenty of time at the front here. Any one of these 3 riders could potentially win the race. Mostiger has a quick glance over the shoulder. He can see Dickens just behind him. All eyes now on the leader though, trying to close up on Davis. Still looks a little bit treacherous in places. 1 or 2 damp patches on that right-hand bowl corner back towards the finish line. Just tightened in on itself into the hairpin. Back towards the finish line they go now as Mostiger. Let's have a look at the 27 here in second place. He is just, I don't know, he's just sounding out the race leader at the moment, Matthew Davis. He's not in a big rush to get through at the moment, but he's just weighing up the options, looking at where he could potentially make a pass. Davis looks strong at the front here, but Mostiger now starts to apply the pressure. Here we go, up to the top of the circuit for the first time. This long sweep. Mostiger having a look on the outside. He's going to try and sweep back on the exit of the corner, but no, can't quite find a way through. Davis, in the meantime, just parking the bike onto the racing line, clipping those apexes, making that machine as wide as possible, making Mostiger do all the work here. Phil Dickens still watching in third. He could yet get back involved in this one if it turns into a battle. And there we see Mostiger. I think he's just gesticulating to Dickens' edge to tag onto the back there. Follow his lines and stick with him. Still Davis leading the race though as we look at Mostiger as we're a little bit further back. The number 13, that's Gav Tappenden. Nice little move there from Tappenden through that chicane on the back straight. And looks like he's moved up a position now, gets ahead of, I think that might be Ian Walker actually he's battling with. It certainly is the 151. So Tappenden now up to 7th place. Dervin Lane there a little bit further back in 9th place. It was his birthday yesterday. Number 89 in 9th. Looking good so far in that 9th position from Robin Carl, Stan Gill, Mark Jarrett a bit further back. We cut back to the leaders as they cross the line. And still Matthew Davis that leads the way. Less than half a second covering the top 2. Phil Dickens trying to keep with Mostiger in second. And Davis really on the defensive on the inside, but whoa, round the outside goes James Mostiger. Oh, he's run into the wet stuff on the outside though, so immediately loses the position. It was a nice move around the outside to take the lead there from Mostiger. Went straight through the puddle sitting on the outside of the track there, and that will lose him a few valuable seconds as he looks to get the temperature back into the tyres. And gives Davis a little bit of breathing space. They come down the back straight through the chicane into the hairpin. This was really treacherous this morning, but riders coping well so far as the track dries out. So Mostiger's got to try and fight again now. Time is starting to run out here though for James Mostiger in second. Julian Groms, of course, 75, is in 4th place, so this should give Mostiger the lead in terms of the championship. But nonetheless, the racer's instinct, he'll still want to win this race. And you can certainly see Mostiger certainly not, he could circulate here in 2nd place and just collect the points, but he's racer's instinct here. He's still looking to go and take the victory. Closing up again on Matthew Davis, who took the lead very early in this race and looking strong at the front. 2 leaders pulling away now from Phil Dickens in 3rd place. The gap goes up to 2.6 seconds as Mostiger again tries that outside, but no, Davis has got the line covered. And there's that puddle that Mostiger ran through the previous time. Could have gone all horribly wrong for him there, so we'll certainly keep away from that line in the last 3 laps as we get towards the back straight once again. Mostiger starting to close up once again on Matthew Davis. Still Dickens 3rd, Gromit 4th, and Steve Booth in 5th place. Dean Bednarek, Gav Tappenden a bit further behind. Ian Walker, Dervin Lane and Robin Kyle rounding up the top 10 as they go through that sweeping chicane area. All the riders, classic racing line through there. As Mostica, 27, starts to close up once again. Matthew Davis, though, 110, the race leader, holding some very nice lines here. He's parking the bike perfectly. Really making James Mostica work here to try and get the lead. Again, we're just watching through the hairpins here. Nice and tidy inside line everywhere, really. Mostica, I think, really just trying to get a drive on the exit of one of the corners, maybe, to try and get alongside him. It's going to be a bit of a tactical move here from Mostica in second if he can get through into the lead as he tries again. He's very quick at the start of the lap. And Mostica trying to get into the top corner. Has the inside line this time and takes the lead now. Can he hold on? He had that pass before. Crowds out Davis to the outside. Davis has got the line on the outside. Oh, but he outbrakes himself. Saw the back end stepping out on the wet stuff there. And Matthew Davis losing the back end slightly. Holds on to that second place, of course. But that means that Mostica is now clear in the lead. So the pressure paying off now for the 27 James Mostica. Matthew Davis, though, recovering from that incident at the top of the circuit. Hard under braking there, trying to defend the lead. He just lost the back end momentarily and outbraked himself into the corner. So Matthew Davis now relegated to second place, but he is certainly not out of this race by any stretch. He's tagging onto the back wheel of Mostica, just trying to keep that momentum up, trying not to let him break away, as we'll have one lap to go next time round. But Mostica, after all that pressure, has finally got through into the lead. Now, can he hold on? Again, looking very neat through the hairpins. Davis still chasing in second place. Here they come over the line to take the last lap board. And just over half a second covering the top two riders. Now, this part of the track does seem to favour Mostica. Has some nice lines at the start of the lap and pulls away. This is where he made the move, of course, last time. Has a quick glance over the shoulder just to check where Matthew Davis is. Still Phil Dickens in third. Julian Gromit in fourth, but crucially for him, of course, his main rival is leading the race. So Julian Gromit, the 75, fourth place, Steve Booth. Dean Bednarek going through in sixth place, Gav Tapperton, Ian Walker, Dervin Lane, Robin Kyle still rounding out the top 10. With Stan Gill, Mick Price, Mark Jarrett and John Pearson rounding out the field. Here they come, though, down the back straight for the final time. James Mostica, he's had to work really hard to get the lead in this race, and now looking just to bring it home. Bit of smoke from the tailpipe there, perhaps just running a bit rich, I don't know, but certainly not affecting the bike by any stretch. Here he comes back towards the right-hand bowl corner for the last time. Matthew Davis still looking strong in second place. Any kind of a mistake from Mostica and Davis will be right in here, but we've got less than half a lap to go. Davis certainly not throwing in the towel here as Mostica makes his way back towards the finish line, looking a bit further back though. That might be Ian Walker possibly. Good battle there through the chicane for the last time as James Mostica takes the checkered flag and will move into the lead of the championship going into the final race. Matthew Davis finishing in second place. Phil Dickens in third position. We wait now for Julian Gromit, who'll be a bit further behind in fourth place. There he is, the 75 crossing the line. So for the first time this year, Julian Gromit will lose the lead of the championship, but still very much in contention. Look at this battle, though, just behind it. Dean Bednarek and Steve Booth, both riders having to nip down the escape road there. It was that close, very quickly indeed. There goes Gav Tapperton. Ian Walker in 8th place, just ahead of Dervin Lane. Robin Kyle should be rounding out the top 10. Just waiting for him to come around the last few corners now. And I believe all the riders staying on the lead lap. Just goes to show what a big track this is at Teeside. Normally we would expect some of the riders in the midfield to, even in a race, not as many riders as normal of course, but even with a 14 rider field, you'd still expect perhaps one or two of the riders towards the back to end up falling a lap down, but such is the size of this Teeside circuit. They're all finishing on the lead lap. There goes Mick Price, closely followed by the 27 of Mark Jarrett on that very impressive looking Pepsi race replica machine. in association with SYMoto. It's the veterans race number 2. They'll be underway in just a few moments' time. Let's have a look at how they line up after the morning qualifying. It's Phil Dickens on pole position from James Mostiger 2nd, Julian Gromit 3rd, Matthew Davis in 4th, Dean Bednarek 5th from Durban Lane. 7th position was Steve Booth from Robin Kyle, Ian Walker and Stan Gill rounding out the top 10. Gav Tappenden 11th place, Mark Jarrett in 12th. 13th was Mick Price from John Pearson, Stephen Tempest, Darren Hall and Paul Histon with no time registered starting at the back. So not sure if Durban Lane's out there. He had a tumble earlier on, of course. Let's hope he's all right. Shout out to Matthew Grigg. Joel Grigg on fire once again, as he certainly was. So the vets, this class is still potentially wide open. The advantage at the moment is with the 27 of James Mostick, in seam just in the pits there on the 27 with the red and white leathers. The rider just next to him on the blue machine, black leather 75, Julian Gromit, the other rider who could potentially take this championship crown. Very close indeed between those two riders. So final moments as they get prepared and underway, and as you see on some of these camera angles, just look at those trees in the background there, how much they're being buffeted about. You can hear it in some of the feedback. Actually, it really is getting windy out. They have to say full credit to the marshals, the medics, and the hardy cameraman here from Alpha Life for standing out in this really blustery weather. Well, you certainly know it's November, don't you? It's really squally winds now. This is kind of like sea breeze you might get. And certainly those gazebos in the paddock. I hope they're tied down well, because those things can go flying. In the meantime, the riders in the waiting zone for the SYMoto veterans, they'll be underway in just a few moments' time. A bit more action to come this afternoon. Don't forget, of course, that the championship presentations are taking place a little bit later on today. Once racing has been finished, we're looking at around 4 p.m. finish for the racing. In terms of the programme, we've got the veterans just going out onto the track now for their formation lap. Following this is the Race Fasteners Mini GP 190 and 70 class, the O'Malley Cup, Parker Racing Stock 140 and the Brat Bikes Super Minis to round out the programme. 4 more races to go after this, but there's still more afterwards, because we'll be crowning our 2020 champions, grabbing a few words with the riders. So here we go. Who's going to win the SYMoto veterans? It's very close indeed. Julian Gromit has pretty much led the entire championship, but taking the lead on that penultimate race of the season is the 27 of James Mostiger. Effectively just needs to finish ahead of Gromit to secure the title. Has been pretty closely fought this year as the riders make their way back to the lines. Bit of a race of attrition now. A few riders have dropped out throughout the day in the vets. 1 or 2 riders going down, so we hope they're okay as well. And there we see on the footage, there's another one of those rather fearsome gravel traps ready to catch out the unwary on the outside of that really impressive right-hander. It just goes tighter and tighter effectively into that really almost like a 180 sheer hairpin, very technical part of the track. And we've seen plenty of overtaking there as the day goes on. So here we go for the SYMoto Veterans 2020 Championship Decider. Riders lining up on the grid. This boils down then to 2 riders, James Mostiger and Julian Gromit. Who will take the title? Riders look like they're ready. Let's wait for the official. The green flag goes up. And the veterans are underway. Phil Dickens gets the jump on the field into the chicane for the first time. Looks like Mostiger 2nd, Davis 3rd. 69 of Dean Bednarek just a little bit further behind. Then it's Julian Gromit. Good start. Everyone seems to have got away cleanly. Into the top corner they go. And round the outside goes the 27 of James Mostiger. Takes the lead from 110 Matthew Davis. Phil Dickens drops to 3rd position. The rest of the pack go charging through the top of the circuit. So Mostiger, champion-elect, gets the jump on the field early on. Looking to, well, any argument you would say is who's going to win this championship, but still 8 laps to go. And as I'm sure you can see, that wind really has picked up. So again, you have to say full credit to the marshals, medics, officials, and the Alpha Live camera team for standing out in this really difficult weather. We'll have to see how much that plays into difficulties for the riders. Everyone coping quite well though, despite, of course, it's haven't got the issue of jumps that you would in, say, for example, motocross where the bikes are in the air, but nonetheless, it's not ideal conditions. The riders coping well so far, and the track certainly has dried out quite nicely. This has been some very competitive lap times as the afternoon goes on. Here come the vets though for the first time. So Matthew Davis now back into the lead from Mostica. Phil Dickens in third place, Dean Bednarek, Julian Gromit, Steve Booth. This would be enough for Mostica if things stay as they are. 7 laps to go, so mistake from Mostica. And Davis fighting back through into the lead. There's the number 110, trying to pull away now from Mostica. There's Mostica's second. Dickens holding on to that third place from Dean Bednarek, Julian Gromit, and Steve Booth just behind there on the 161. Gav Tappenden also well placed in 7th place, getting past Ian Walker, Robin Kyle, and Mark Jarrett rounding out the top 10. Mick Price, John Pearson, and Stan Gill rounding out the rest of the 13 rider field. Had a couple of riders dropping out of contention as the afternoon goes on, so for those riders still left, an opportunity to get some valuable championship points in this very last race of the championship. There is the rider who's led most of the series, number 75, Julian Gromit, trying to get past the 69 of Dean Bednarek. Into the right-hander they go, of course, James Mostica, and no score at the first round at Ella Park, but has been pretty much faultless since, and has taken the lead going into this final round of the championship. So still anything could happen though. We've got just over 7 laps remaining in this race as we watch Mostica fastest lap of the race. There he goes, starting to close up once again on Matthew Davis, although they are very much identical on lap times there. 119.691 for Matthew Davis, 119.607 for James Mostica. So the 2 race leaders really setting a strong pace at the front and pulling away now. The gap goes up to 3.8 seconds from Phil Dickens in third, and they continue to pull away. There goes Dickens into the top corner as the leaders go down the back straight. Mostica has a good glance over the shoulder. You can see that it's all falling back behind him now. It's all down to Mostica and Davis, the race leader. These 2 riders really battling it out for the lead. Davis then back through into the lead early on after losing out to Mostica in those early stages, and this is a very finely poised race. Both riders at the moment pretty much identical on pace. Mostica with the fastest lap of the race last time round, but it really was by the finest of margins. Dickens in third, 4th is Bednarek, Gromit just behind on the 75, then the 86 of Steve Booth, 161 on the bike. Trying to close up there on the 75 of Julian Gromit, who has a peek down the inside of Bednarek. Gromit needs to make these positions up, try and close up on James Mostica. 5 laps to go. There is Mostica, who again sets the fastest lap of the race, but yet again, almost identical on pace with Matthew Davis, but Mostica closing up into the top corner. Davis knows he's there. He's guarding those inside lines, forcing Mostica to go for the outside sweep coming out of the corner. Just looking at some of that camera footage there, the way the grass is billowing about in the background. Really tough conditions for the riders out there as they go down the back straight. Matthew Davis pulls away slightly from Mostica as they make their way through the chicane once again. Classic racing line through there, straight lining the apexes of the corners into that really tight left-hand hairpin all of a sudden from the fastest part of the track pretty much to the slowest, as we look again at the battle between Dean Bednarek, Julian Gromit and Steve Booth. Phil Dickens in third has pulled away slightly. He's on his own, 5.2 seconds adrift of the leader. So at the moment Dickens can enjoy his own race, but Julian Gromit trying to find a way past Dean Bednarek here, who is defending that 4th position very well. Steve Booth in 6th, trying to get involved in this battle as well as Gromit has a look down the inside. Oh, it's tight. But certainly Bednarek's got the line into the corner, and Gromit had to back out of that 4th place, but he's running out of time in terms of the championship. Pulls away now from Dean Bednarek, who comes under some real pressure from Steve Booth through the chicane. Gromit trying to pull away now from Bednarek and close the gap on Phil Dickens, who's a few seconds ahead now. The gap was 3.3 seconds last time between Dickens in third And Bednarek, who was in 4th, now dropping to 5th position. Still looks strong as Steve Booth tries to find a way through. Gav Tappan just a little bit further behind. Matthew Davis and James Mostiger make their way over the finish line. Still very close. Mostiger again, fastest lap of the race. This is a very finely poised race in the front as we look at Booth trying to find a way down the inside of Dean Bednarek. Dickens goes through in 3rd. Gromit then up to 4th. As, down the inside at the top of the circuit goes James Mostiger into the lead. This is a very finely poised race at the front. And Mostiger through. Davis fights back around the outside. Mostiger fends him off, forces him wide. So Davis now loses a bit of advantage going onto the back straight. He finds the momentum to close back on Mostiger. Not close enough to go for the pass just yet. Can he do it on the braking? No, a little bit too far behind at the moment. Look out then for number 110. Matthew Davis dropping to 2nd, trying to find a way back through past James Mostiger. Through the chicane they go. 27, James Mostiger, your new race leader, champion-elect at the front of the field. Matthew Davis still very close in 2nd place. Has a look down the inside of Mostiger. He's going to have to be brave under braking. And, that was a brave move there from Davis to get back into the lead. Mostiger shut the door hard into the hairpin, but Davis just stuck it out, stayed down there, and Mostiger had to concede the corner. Now, of course, Mostiger, the championship could be on the line here as well, so he's got to be careful for that aspect as well. 2nd place should do it for him, but he's certainly not giving this one up. Tries round the outside again from Davis. Davis parks the bike on the racing line on the apex, prevents Mostiger from the switchback into the top corner. Here they come to the very top section of the track now. Quarter straight they come back towards us, and Davis now looking good in the lead. Mostiger sweeps around the outside though, has a look again over the shoulder, knows he's clear of everyone else. It's just these two riders, 1.5 laps to go, and they really have pulled away from the rest of the field. Phil Dickens is almost 11 seconds adrift of this battle for the lead, which just goes to show how much they've been pushing each other on for the entire race. We've got 1.5 laps to go through that little chicane into the long right-hander. So Davis, this is where he made the move last time with that great move down the inside. Guards the inside line. Mostiger still there in 2nd place. But a small mistake there from Davis, only very slight on the apex. That will allow Mostiger to close up. Davis holds on to the lead. 1 lap to go as Davis charges around the final corner over the line through the chicane. Mostiger still right in there, and this is where Mostiger seems quite quick at the start of the lap. He has a nice line into this top corner. Up the bank they go into the top of the circuit. Davis guards that inside line. Mostiger going to try and sweep down the inside out to the corner. He can't do it. No, Davis blocks him on the inside. So Matthew Davis defending that lead, as is his right as the race leader. Down the back straight they go once again. Mostiger's going to have to get a good drive around the outside to get the momentum down the back straight, and he does so. But he can't get close enough. Davis holds on to the lead. Through that chicane they go on the back straight. Clipping the apexes there into the right-hander. Mostiger not quite close enough to go under braking. Davis holds on to the lead. So Mostiger lost his chance at the start of the lap. Can he get past under braking? Certainly can't afford to risk an accident on this half lap with the championship at stake as well. So it's a finely poised moment here as Matthew Davis looks to hold on for victory. Guards the inside line. Mostiger, I don't think he's giving this one up at all. Mostiger having a look on the inside, can't find a way through. He's going to have to follow Davis. Mostiger on the exit gets a bit of momentum, but it looks like Davis has done enough. Round the final corner they go, and race number 2 goes to Matthew Davis, just ahead of James Mostiger. And then there is a big gap until 3rd place. Those two riders really pushing each other on in the closing stages. Looks like it's going to be Phil Dickens in 3rd place, Julian Gromit in 4th, and Dean Bednarek. There they go, and very close indeed. Steve Booth on the line, getting past Dean Bednarek. Very, very close finish there. We'll take a very brief pause before our next race of the day, as events number 2 draws to a close, and I believe that will give the title to James Mostiger. So congratulations to James, and we'll see him a bit later on at the presentation. We'll be back very shortly. Race Fasteners Mini GP 190 and 70 is coming up. We'll take a very brief break and be right back with you in a few moments.